Okay guys, just a quick overview of how to replace the steering cable. I know there's a lot of other videos out there that have a really detailed step-by-step, but the WT Heyday is a couple of quarks eccentricities, so I'm just going to go over those things. This isn't a really detailed step-by-step. Obviously, you're going to do everything that you normally would do, like disconnecting it from the rudder. The main issue is access. That's the number one thing I want to talk about. So in order to access it, you're going to have to pull off this part here, and then you can pull out this whole big plastic panel. So once you get that panel out, I actually ended up cutting it in two so I could actually just take out the back part by itself. Then once you can finally get in there, you can't even do this if you're not a smaller guy. So I wouldn't even attempt to try and replace this if I'm 5'8" and 165 pounds. And so if you're like some 6 foot, two person, 220, 30, you're never going to get this done. But then you end up laying down in here and accessing it. It's really, really tough. Your feet actually end up going towards the back that way, and my head was up at the front, up here. There's so little access to even turn, I had to cut a wrench specifically just to get it out of that support arm bracket. So I actually had to also use a pry bar 2 extension to try and to break it free. I did get it free with the extension, but this is all I could use. You'd have to end up going backwards. So a little bit, turn a little bit, and flip it around. Then you get another little turn a little bit, and then that's the process. It's a long process. Once you do pull it through and you undo it, again, a lot of other boats I saw online had a rack system. This one has a rotary system. So the rotary, that top right bolt up there, that is that connects this overflow bit, so then you can undo that, and those two at the bottom on the opposite side, there's two with that cable, and that's what holds the cable in. So you have to take those out so you can pull that cable out, and then you can snake the whole thing. But you have to remove it actually out the back. That's the other eccentricity. So the other boats will tell you to pull everything from the helm and put everything back in from the helm. But the way that the WT2 is this is your steering cable, this corrugated bit that goes inside of there, and the nut is too big to fit through that conduit. So what you're going to end up having to do is pull it all out the back, and then you have to push it all in through the back. So that's the other weird eccentricity. Now I will say the routing is pretty easy on my Heyday because I have access to it there, and then also it comes in just underneath this edge of the door. It comes in up under there. Hopefully you guys could see that. That's where that conduit goes, and then it routes up underneath this corner and back into the boat. So you can access it pretty easily. The run is pretty direct. So I did have some trouble running it backwards just because at this turn down here at this corner, it really wanted to kind of poke through because the end that goes into there, it's a narrower cable. And since this shell has a slit at the top, and it's basically, two pieces, that thing, it wanted to poke through and kept trying to poke through, and so that took me a while to wrestle it to finally get it back how it needed to go into there. Once you get it in, obviously you can tighten those bolts. You can feed it through with you just rotate the steering wheel, and that'll suck the bit through, unlike the rack system that you see on the other boats. So that's pretty much it. That's everything I think you really need to know.